Hi, I'm Lisa with Unlimited Book Reviews, and today's review is for His Eternity by Maya Carnage. And you can see the cover there. Very nice, kind of gives you an idea of what this book is going to be about. It's in the genre romance science fiction, currently ranking in that genre at 379. The series Gaejian tribes, maybe? Gaejian, maybe the G is silent, but you get the general idea there. It's number 1 in the series. It's 331 pages long. And the main characters in this story are Fiona and Gabriel. So it's written in first person, totally from Fiona's point of view. So you're hearing from her. Book description: I have had a tough life, rarely seen any ups, but that never got me down. I have always held out hope that things would get better, that a handsome prince would come and save me. However, I never thought that my savior would rescue me from an alien planet auction house. Myself and 10 other women were abducted by little orange men who dropped us off on a foreign planet to be sold to the highest bidder. It was not fun staying in cramped spaces while we awaited our fates, but then one of the other women overhears that space pirates are going to steal us. I don't know whether or not I should feel relieved or terrified. At least I am no longer going to be sold to some monstrous alien. But then again, I don't know what lies ahead with the pirates, but I guess I'm about to find out. So that gives you the general idea there. The character development, there is some in this. She's a young, abused woman. She's abducted with 10 other people. She's going to be auctioned off when she learns about the pirates. And during the flight back to the pirates' home planet, she finds out that she is one of the reasons that they were rescued in the very first place, so there's more going on. And then she has to come to terms with leaving her past life and her feelings for her new alien rescuer. And they all need to come to terms with integrating into a new society. So this is gearing up and introducing you to other characters in the story that I'm sure that there'll be books about in the future. So the storyline, the originality, obviously I've seen some of this done before, but it was good. And then there was a little bit of suspense, some humor, there was a bit of drama and conflict, and a little bit of mystery as far as you don't know what they're kind of getting into, and a little bit of action. So a little bit of everything. The romance side of it, they meet. You know, obviously these guys meet about 7% into the book, and then sparks start to fly between them around 11%, with build up until they end up having sex around 33% into the book. And it is descriptive sex, like it's erotica, 5 pages long for that first encounter there. But there wasn't any major women drama or darkness or any kind of crazy kink or anything like that. And there is a nice happily ever after at the end, so that's guaranteed. The writing, this is Maya Carnage. She's a new author. Her style, I would call it intermediate, written in the first person. And I would say intermediate because there are definitely editing and grammar issues here and there that, you know, make it somewhat hard to read. Some commas could be added, maybe simpler sentences, those sorts of things. So I sent her a copy of what I saw when I read it. But there aren't any weird inconsistencies where you're like, oh wait, what happened to that person or anything like that. There's quite a few people, like there's a little bit of secondary characters to wrap your head around, and that sometimes is a little bit daunting, but you aren't really left hanging at the end of the book. This is her only book in Kindle Unlimited and her only book out right this second, and it didn't come out that long ago. Did I like it? Yep, I would definitely say it was a good book. Quotes highlighted by the readers, there weren't any, so I picked a couple, kind of give you a general idea of the story. All I know is that I need to make peace with where I am at in my life right now and make the best out of it, to stop fighting against it. That was Fiona. My eternity, he said, smiling at me affectionately. You're my everything. You were deserving of a fitting endearment. So, and that wasn't highlighted by 17 people. So let's see. There are 2 reviews on Amazon.com right now. 3 stars by SEN, whose heading says, "Great story, terrible editing." The body says, "It was clear that English may not have been the author's first language, or if it was, her editor was just awful. However, despite the writing being less than polished, the story itself was pretty fabulous." And that's pretty much how I feel about it too. With the little cleaning up and that sort of thing, then it could definitely be great. So 2 stars by A. Reed, whose heading says, "Needs editing and misleading page count." So one of the things that this person is talking about is how it is double spaced. It's not spaced the same as other books on Amazon Kindle and stuff, and so that makes it seem longer than it actually is, which I didn't really even think about. Like, I noticed that, but it makes sense. But their body also says, "Characters, I started out liking the heroine. She is a survivor. She was in a bad situation, kidnapped and at a slave auction, and wasn't crying hysterically, catatonic with shock, or screaming in rage. She was preparing herself to survive and trying to help the others do the same. However, because this is a serial and not a full-length novel, the character development pretty much stops there. I wanted to see more. I wanted to see her progress, but it didn't happen, and she became a very typical damsel in distress, which I did not like. The hero was pretty bland and vague. This isn't dual point of view, so you don't see his side of things. Overall, he was just eh." Storyline, I'm giving this 2 stars only because the storyline had potential. It had good bones, but because it wasn't a full-length novel, there is very little character and relationship development. I am not a fan of insta-love, and this was very insta-love. Author needs to build her characters and their relationships more. The world building needed more development too. Everything was just too rushed. So if this is a genre that you like, you will like this book. You'll just might not be your favorite in that genre. Because that's kind of how I felt about it. Like, I really like these kind of books, science fiction, aliens, you know. I can buy into a little insta-love, like that's totally fine in a book. But this one could use a little more rounding out and definitely some editing. So take a look, see what you think, go and get the book, read it and give your comments. Let the author know what you find. That's how it'll get cleaned up, is by sending her feedback and getting it really polished up. Okay, thanks so much for stopping by. Don't forget to give me the thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't, and you have a great day.